Drunk Birmingham History, and I'm David A. Smith. I'm going to take you a little ways to the west, maybe an hour and a half to Tuscaloosa. Tell you a story that happened in about late August of 2000. I call it the Reed Street hostage party situation. If you were in Tuscaloosa at that time, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. Anybody who lived in Tuscaloosa knows Reed Street was a cesspool. It's just a cheap-ass apartment, whatever. I was lucky enough to have parents who saw the dorms at Alabama and said, these look like prison cells, you're never living here, and got me an apartment with someone with a fuck-up friend of mine from high school. Okay, so we're down there. We moved down there at the beginning of August. School starts, second, third week of August. So this is still August, so school had just started. It's a Monday night. I'm finished classes, walking home, because again, Reed Street's right next to campus, for those who don't know. Doing my shot real quick.
Yeah, get nice and limber.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, Reed Street's right there. I'm walking up to Monday night. I want to watch wrestling because I still want to watch wrestling on Monday night, even, 18 years later.
Well, yeah.
So I get to the intersection of University Boulevard and Reed Street, and a police officer stops me. And I was like, okay, that's not expected. And he says, sorry, sir, we can't let you down here. It's like, officer, I live down here. And it's like, well, I understand that, sir, but there's a guy with a gun. He's got a hostage, and we can't let anybody down here. The first thought I thought was, what the fuck did my roommate do? Because that's what the situation was. Already, not even a month into college. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm like, again,
that's a freaky thing to be told.
3 to 4 weeks into this, I don't know shit about Tuscaloosa. I know how to walk down the main street and turn on Reed Street to get to my apartment. So I also know my rental agency is right next to, the turn. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, I live down at Preston Place. There's a hostage situation happening. Can I stay here? They're like, yeah, you can stay here till we close, and they're going to close at 5:30 or whatever. So I'm just chilling in their lobby, not knowing what to do. Then the 5 o'clock news comes on for Birmingham, and they've got it on the TV, and it leads with hostage situation in Tuscaloosa. And even then, at 18, freshman in college, I know, oh shit, some of my relatives might be watching this and might know, isn't that where David lives? So I have to call to my mother 3 to 4 weeks into college and call her up, hey, Mom, you might watch the news tonight. And they might say, a hostage situation on Reed Street. It's fine. It's not my building. It's not me. She took it surprisingly well. I don't know why. Maybe she knew. Maybe it was so bizarre it didn't register. But the phone call, she didn't freak out. So thank you, Mom. So the office closes, and I'm still standing on the intersection. There's a couple of people there and everything. I go to eat at this little barbecue place that they've long torn the building down, and now I think it's where Jimmy John's is or whatever. And I get done with that, and I'm still what to do? I want to get home. And somebody tells me, hey, if you live down there, you can go behind the Houndstooth and go the back way. You'll be fine. Again, circling back, 3 to 4 weeks, I don't know back roads. I don't know anything. I know to go down University, turn right on Reed Street, and I'm going to be in my apartment. So I go there, and I get there, and it's a sea of people. I don't know how many people it was, but at that point it seemed like it was a block party. Literal block party. There are rumors that someone had a keg. I never saw it, but I don't doubt those rumors at all. So I put my stuff in my apartment, and it's what else am I going to do? I'm not going to watch wrestling tonight because there's a fucking block party with a hostage situation happening. So we're hanging out in our building's parking lot, because my building was literally at the intersection of Reed and whatever that road was. Yeah, it was at the end of Reed Street. So that's where it was. So we're just all hanging out. There's people coming from campus, sneaking down there and everything. There was literally in the building across the other side of the street had a big sheet with shoe polish, Reed Street Hostage Party 2000 with a big bullseye on it.
Oh my God!
That happened.
Serious?
Dead serious.
Oh my God!
Remember it to this day.
That's Tuscaloosa.
So we're just all don't know what to do. 10 o'clock rolls around and all the local news stations starts doing remotes from like either the parking lot, and students are going from like NBC to Fox to ABC. Like one's doing it in the balcony of like one of the apartments across the street. And then like probably around 10:30, give or take your time, we hear pop, pop, pop. And we're told like later that's like the police finally shot like tear gas or stun or whatever in there and took the guy down. Because what had happened was the guy was at Bryce, the mental institution. He checked himself out, went off his meds, and I think he knew the person, took him hostage, and shot at a police officer when the officer came, and that's why the standoff happened. So, the next couple of days in the Crimson White, all these people were pontificating like, you were so irresponsible for partying, and all this was a dangerous situation. I'm like, even at 18, I'm like, hold up, timer. If you lived there, you would have been doing the same thing.
That's all you did.
You had no other choice. There was, maybe 100 or so people out in your parking lot. You were going to go see what was happening. It was just human nature to do that. Now, the funny end of this, fast forward years down the line, 7, 8, 9 years. I'm out of college. I'm working for the Boy Scouts in a previous life. We're at summer camp, and the people working our summer camp shooting sports range were Tuscaloosa police officers. So the guy who worked, the head of the shooting sports thing, trained the sniper division. Big, tough guy. So we're just sitting in the office one day, and I asked him, like, do you remember that hostage situation from 2000 on Reed Street? And he looked at me. I'll never forget him. I'm just trying to do his voice like, yeah, I remember it. I was sitting on the edge of some girl's bed with a rifle pointed at the dude's head for about 6 hours. And that's the Reed Street hostage party.
Hooray!
Yeah.
That's Tuscaloosa for you, baby.
Tuscaloosa. My first introduction to Tuscaloosa. Not even a month into that city.
God, and they got crazier.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.